My name is Nana May. It was Christmas night, and I found my daughter shivering outside while his family laughed by the fireplace. The wind cut through the thin coat she wore. The snow clung to her hair, and I could see the tremors shaking her tiny frame. My heart stopped. I had never seen her like this. So small, so frightened, so utterly invisible. Emma, I called, my voice trembling. Emma, come inside. She froze. Her eyes, dark, scared, looked up at me from under the brim of her scarf. She wanted to run, but she couldn't. The laughter from inside was deafening. The fire crackled, but it wasn't warmth, it was mockery. I didn't care about the cold. I didn't care about the snow soaking through my slippers as I ran to her. All I could think about was the scene that was playing inside. Through the window, I could see them. Her husband, Tom, leaning back in his chair, glass of brandy in hand. His parents sat on either side, smirking, exchanging glances as if she was nothing more than an ornament for the holiday. I could see her sister-in-law adjusting the fine silk napkin on the table, deliberately ignoring Emma's presence. I flung open the door. Emma, get inside now. It's freezing out here. She stepped back, almost tripping over the snow. Mom, her voice cracked. She couldn't finish the sentence. I grabbed her hand. No more waiting. We're leaving. Now. Her fingers were ice. I held her close, wrapping my coat around her. But she pulled back, shaking her head. Mom, I can't. Her words broke me. I could see it, the humiliation, the quiet horror. She had been trapped, sitting alone while his family celebrated, and she wasn't allowed near the warmth. I could feel the anger rising inside me. It was slow at first, a simmering, icy rage that grew hotter with every second I watched her shivering. I stepped closer to the window. Tom, I shouted, what do you think you're doing? The laughter stopped for a heartbeat. He looked at me with that calm, smug smile, the kind that made your skin crawl. She's fine, he said. She wanted some fresh air. I felt bile rise in my throat. Fresh air? She's frozen, Tom. She's shaking. This isn't a joke. Oh, come now, he said, standing. It's Christmas. A little cold never hurt anyone. His parents laughed. High-pitched, cruel laughter that cut through the night. I swallowed my fear and stepped back. You leave her out here again, and I promise you'll regret it. Tom tilted his head, studying me. And what are you going to do, Nana May? You're alone. No one here will back you up. I could see the truth in his eyes. They didn't expect me to do anything. They expected me to watch, quietly, as Emma froze in the snow. I tightened my grip on Emma's arm. Watch me, I said. Her eyes searched mine. For the first time, there was a spark, a tiny ember of hope. I opened the door wider and stepped inside. The warmth hit me like a slap to the face, but I didn't move. I let my eyes scan the room. Every corner, every mocking smile, every piece of expensive decoration that had become a weapon. Emma, I whispered, stay close to me. She nodded. Her lips trembled not just from cold, but from the tension radiating in the room. Tom's father leaned forward. Nana May, it's Christmas. Don't make this unpleasant. I met his gaze. It's already unpleasant. You've made it unbearable for her. His mother smiled faintly. She's just shy. She'll adjust. I clenched my fists. Shy. Shy. She's being humiliated in front of your family while you laugh like monsters. The room fell silent. I could see it, the flicker of guilt, the flicker of irritation. But mostly, they were waiting for me to back down. I took a deep breath. Emma, come with me. We're leaving. No, Tom said sharply. She stays here. It's fine. I stepped closer to him. No, it's not fine. She's my daughter. She's not a toy for your amusement. The firelight danced across the walls, throwing shadows that looked like monsters. But they weren't monsters, they were just people. People with cruelty buried under smiles and polite conversation. Emma's small hand gripped mine. Mom, please don't make it worse. I knelt down to her level. Honey, it's already worse. But I promise, I won't let them hurt you anymore. Tom sneered. You can't just take her. It's Christmas. Family time. I stood, towering over him, not in height, but in resolve. She's not family. Not here. Not like this. And I'm taking her home. Now. He laughed a hollow sound. You'll regret this, Nana May. You'll ruin everything. I could see the anger in his eyes. I could see the threat. I didn't care. I took Emma by the hand. Come on, I said firmly. Let's go. Her fingers hesitated for a moment. Then, finally, she followed me. The cold air outside hit us again, but this time it was different. The wind was harsh, yes, but it was freedom. I wrapped my arms around her. You're safe now, I whispered. Tears streamed down her face. I could feel the shivers still shaking her body. I held her tighter. It's going to be okay. We're leaving and we're not looking back. She leaned into me. Mom, I've never been so scared. I swallowed hard. I know, sweetheart. I know. From the window, I could see them watching. Faces pale, mouths open. The smug laughter had vanished. The firelight flickered over their expressions, but it was too late. Emma was already walking away from their cruelty. We reached the car. I opened the door. Get in. As she climbed in, I noticed something on the porch. A small gift box. Polished, red, tied with a ribbon. I picked it up. A note inside read, "Next time she won't leave." I froze. Emma's eyes met mine. Mom, I shook my head. Don't look at it. We'll deal with this later. Right now, you're safe. That's all that matters. The engine roared to life. Snow flew behind us as we drove away. But even as the warmth of the heater reached us, I could feel the danger closing in. This Christmas was not over, and I had a sinking feeling it was only the beginning. We returned home, but the image of her shivering haunted me like firelight burning through my soul. I could not stop seeing Emma, tiny and trembling, clutching her coat while his family laughed inside that grand, gilded living room. Every detail replayed in my mind. The way Tom leaned back with that smug smile, the way his parents whispered behind their hands, and how she had sat, frozen, trying not to cry. I closed the door behind us, shutting out the wind and the mocking faces, but I could still feel their gaze. Their cruelty had followed us. Emma sank onto the sofa, curling into herself. Mom, I tried to be brave, she whispered. Her voice was tiny, fragile. My heart broke. I kneeled beside her. Honey, it's not about bravery. It's about them being cruel. And that's not your fault. Tears slid down her cheeks. Why do they do this? I pulled her into my arms. Because they can. Some people feel powerful only when others suffer. But we're not going to let them have that power anymore. Her small hands gripped my coat. Do they hate me? I shook my head. No, they just don't care about you. That's different. And we'll show them that love matters more than cruelty. We stayed like that for a long moment, the quiet interrupted only by the ticking of the clock. But outside, the world didn't stop. And neither did the storm inside me. I knew what had to be done. The phone rang. It was an unknown number. I hesitated. My instinct screamed to ignore it, to let it go. But something told me this call was important. I answered. Hello. A cold voice replied immediately. Nana May. I stiffened. Who is this? There's no time for pleasantries, the voice said. Your daughter is in danger, and you need to understand the consequences of leaving her with him. My blood ran cold. Danger? What are you talking about? Tom isn't who you think he is, the voice said. And his family, they have secrets. Dangerous secrets. You've seen only the surface tonight. The next step will destroy everything if you don't act carefully. I could hear the faint sound of a fireplace behind the line. The same warmth, the same laughter, but distorted, sinister. What do you want from me? I demanded. Nothing yet, the voice said. Just remember this. Some fires warm. Others burn. And tonight, you've been standing too close to the wrong one. The line went dead. I dropped the phone. My hand shook. Emma's eyes were wide. Mom, what was that? I swallowed hard. Someone trying to warn me. About him. About them. About what you almost faced tonight. She trembled again. Not from cold this time. From fear. I hugged her tight. We're safe now. But we have to be smart. We can't trust them, not for a second. Planning our next move. I sat at the kitchen table, sipping hot tea while Emma sat opposite me. Her hands were wrapped around a mug that did nothing to warm her, but it was the only comfort she had. We can't go to the police, I said slowly. They would never believe us. Not yet. Emma nodded. But Mom, they have everything. Their house, their money, their friends. I cut her off gently. We have truth. And that's stronger than their money or their lies. Her eyes widened. Truth, will it be enough? I didn't answer. Because I wasn't sure. I only knew that we had to try. The next day, I returned to the scene. The house loomed, tall and menacing. Snow crunched under my boots. I wanted to scream, to throw myself into the fireplace and destroy the smug faces inside. But I couldn't. I had to be careful. I knocked. Tom opened the door, surprised. Nana May. What are you? I stepped inside before he could finish. I'm here for Emma, I said firmly. His smile didn't waver. She's resting. I looked past him. Through the doorway. I could see her curled up on the sofa. He had given her a blanket, but it was thin. It smelled faintly of his cologne. She doesn't belong here, I said, my voice icy. And you think she belongs where? He sneered. With you? Alone in the cold? That's what you did last night. I took a deep breath, steadying myself. I made sure she wouldn't freeze outside. But she belongs with people who love her, not people who mock her misery. His parents appeared behind him, feigning concern. Nana May, please. It's Christmas. Don't ruin the celebration. I could feel my rage building. Celebration. I spat, laughing while a child shivers. That's not celebration. That's cruelty. Tom stepped closer. You're making this personal. You'll regret it. I looked him in the eyes. No, you'll regret underestimating me. Emma peeked from the corner. Her eyes met mine. Fear, hope, and trust all mixed together. I saw the tiny spark I needed to ignite a plan. The afternoon dragged on. Tom's family continued their festivities, oblivious to the storm brewing in me. Emma stayed quiet, refusing to join them. Every laugh from the fireplace felt like a punch to my chest. I could see it, her head down, her hands folded in her lap, trying to disappear. I hated them, every single one of them, but I had to stay calm. The fire of anger in me was controlled. It wasn't chaos yet. I decided to speak. Slowly, clearly, loud enough for the whole room to hear. Emma doesn't need your approval, I said. She doesn't need your validation. She doesn't belong in a place that treats her like she's nothing. A gasp echoed. Tom froze mid-bite. His parents' smiles faltered. You can't talk to me like that, he said. I stepped closer. Watch me. I motioned to Emma. Come, honey. Stand by me. She obeyed, her small hand slipping into mine. The strength of her courage bolstered my own. You see her. I continued. This is my daughter. She has dignity. She has worth. And you, sitting there laughing, have none. For the first time, the room went completely silent. Then Tom laughed, a short, nervous sound. Bold words for a woman who can't even control her daughter. I didn't flinch. I control nothing, I said. But I protect what's mine. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Suddenly, the lights flickered. A loud crack echoed from the fireplace. Smoke rose, faint but alarming. Panic sparked in the room. Tom's father cursed. His mother shrieked. Emma gasped. I pulled Emma closer. Get ready, I whispered. Something is coming, and we won't wait for them to act first. A knock at the door startled everyone. We froze. A shadow appeared in the frosted glass pane. And then a letter slid under the door. I bent down and picked it up. The handwriting was familiar, terrifying, and the words inside would change everything we thought we knew about Tom, his family, and the Christmas night that should have been filled with joy, but had become a war zone. Nana May, you think you've seen cruelty tonight? You've only scratched the surface. Be ready. Emma clutched my arm. Her eyes were wide with fear. I swallowed hard. Honey, this isn't over. Not by a long shot. And for the first time, I realized the warmth of the fireplace inside was a lie. The real fire was outside, and it was coming for us. The moment I stepped back into their world, I realized Christmas was never about joy. It was a cage disguised as celebration. The letter burned in my pocket. Its words kept repeating in my mind, you've only scratched the surface. Be ready. I couldn't ignore it. Not now. Not when Emma's trembling body had already been a silent witness to their cruelty. Inside, the room was pristine. The fire still crackled, throwing golden light across polished wood and crystal decorations. Tom sat back in his chair, swirling his drink. His parents smiled with that self-satisfied air, as if nothing had happened. And yet, I could feel the tension hanging over them like a storm cloud. I guided Emma to a chair near the table. She hesitated, but finally sat. I knelt beside her. Stay calm, sweetheart. No matter what happens, you're not alone. Tom stood, towering over us. Nana May, are you going to sit there all night staring at us? Or do you have something to say? I straightened, letting the heat of anger fuel me. I have plenty to say. First, I want to know why my daughter was left to shiver outside while you all laughed by the fire. His laugh was low, condescending. She wanted some fresh air. She's dramatic, that's all. I shook my head slowly, carefully. Dramatic? Do you know what fear looks like? Do you know what it feels like to be frozen to the bone? To realize that the people who should protect you are laughing at your suffering? Emma's hands gripped mine tighter. Her small voice whispered, Mom. I ignored the discomfort. I'm done pretending your cruelty is acceptable. That fire you sit by, it's fake warmth. And the smiles, they hide the rot inside your family. Tom's mother shifted. Nana May, be reasonable. It's Christmas. This is supposed to be a joyful gathering. I leaned closer to her, my voice a low warning. Joy. You think it's joy when a child trembles in the snow alone. Don't speak to me about joy when you've been complicit in her humiliation. Her eyes widened slightly. For the first time, there was hesitation behind the polished mask. Tom's father leaned back, his cane tapping on the floor. You're exaggerating, woman. Children can handle a little cold. It builds character. I felt my blood boil. Builds character? No. It builds scars. Emotional scars. And I promise you, they don't fade with time or money or clever smiles at a dinner table. Emma looked at me with awe and fear. I squeezed her hand. You see that, honey? That's what courage looks like. Not silence. Not endurance. Courage. A shadow moved near the fireplace. Tom's sister, Claire, appeared with a plate of untouched cookies. You really think you can humiliate us, Nana May? You have no place here. I studied her cold face. No, Claire. You don't get to define humiliation. You get to define selfishness, cruelty, and cowardice. And tonight, that's exactly what you've shown. Her lips quivered, but it wasn't fear, it was shock. She hadn't expected anyone to call them out. Then it happened. The letter in my pocket had said I needed to be ready. I wasn't sure what to expect, but my intuition screamed that tonight, secrets hidden for years would surface. I pulled it out and waved it. This arrived while my daughter was shivering outside. Do any of you care to explain why? Tom's eyes narrowed. That's nonsense. You're imagining things. I opened it, letting the words hang in the air. You've only scratched the surface. Care to explain what that means? Or are you going to continue pretending your family is perfect? The room fell silent. For the first time, I sensed a crack in their armor. Tom's father finally spoke. You don't understand. This is family business. Things you wouldn't comprehend. I laughed bitterly. Family business? Is that what you call orchestrating the humiliation of a child on Christmas night? Is that what you call laughing at her suffering? Tom's mother's hands trembled slightly. You don't know. Oh, I know, I said. I've been watching for years. The way you manipulate, the way you control, the way you use appearances as a weapon. Emma leaned closer to me, eyes wide. Mom, they're scary. I kissed her forehead. I know, honey, but fear is the first step to seeing the truth. I turned to Tom. Tell me, what was in that letter? Who sent it? He froze. For a moment, I thought he might crumble. But then he laughed, a hollow, chilling sound. It's nothing, Nana May. Just nonsense meant to scare you. I could see the lie in his eyes. And then, slowly, the first piece of truth fell. Tom's father cleared his throat. Perhaps it's time she knew. About the family. About the secrets. My heart pounded. Secrets? What kind of secrets? He hesitated. Then, almost reluctantly, he said, Emma, this is difficult. But you need to know. The family you married into, it's not what it seems. I could see Emma stiffen. Her fingers dug into mine. What do you mean? She whispered. Tom's sister sneered. Nana May, don't drag her into this. I raised my hand. She deserves to know, especially after last night. Tell her. Tom's father sighed. Very well. There are things the family has kept hidden. Deals, relationships, actions that should never have happened, but have been kept secret for generations. Some people in this room, they've done terrible things to protect those secrets. Emma gasped. Terrible things? Yes, he said. And your father-in-law and your mother-in-law have been willing to hurt anyone to keep those secrets buried, including you. I could feel Emma shrink back. Her trust, her belief in family, shattered in seconds. And what about Tom? I asked, looking at him. He shifted uncomfortably. I don't know everything. I've been shielded from some of it, but I've seen enough. I felt a rage I hadn't known I possessed. Seen enough to let my daughter freeze outside while you laughed? He flinched. It wasn't like that. We thought she wanted to be outside. I laughed, bitter and sharp. She wanted to breathe, yes, and survive. And she was denied both. Emma whispered, Mom, what do we do? I held her hand tightly. We survive. That's what we do. And then we fight. The first reversal came quietly. Tom's sister Claire, the one who had mocked Emma, suddenly looked worried. Mom, Nana May, do you really mean what you just said? Yes, I said. I'm done letting them control her. Done letting them hide behind their wealth and smiles. It's time the truth came out. She swallowed. You can't. You'll ruin everything. Christmas everything. I smiled faintly. I already have. And I'll do it again if I have to. For the first time, I sensed fear from them. Not me. Not Emma. Them. Their carefully curated control was cracking. I leaned down to Emma. You see, honey, strength isn't loud. It's quiet. It's knowing that no matter how much power they think they have, it's nothing against the truth. She nodded, a small, resolute movement. The first spark of courage had returned. But before we could act, the next blow arrived. A soft click behind the fireplace. A hidden door swung open, and out stepped a man I didn't recognize, tall, dark, with eyes that burned with cold intelligence. He smiled, not kindly, not warmly, but like a predator who had been waiting. Ah, he said, so this is the infamous Nana May. I've heard much about you. The room went silent. I held Emma close. My mind raced. Who was he? What did he want? And in that moment, I realized this Christmas was far from over. We had survived the cold, but the real fire had only just begun. I never imagined that Christmas could be colder than the snow outside. But then I saw it. Betrayal in the warm glow of the fireplace. The man who had stepped out from behind the fireplace stared at us with a calm, calculated gaze. His presence was like ice on the skin. Not just cold, but dangerous. He looked at Emma, then me, as if evaluating whether we were a threat or a nuisance. Who are you? I demanded. My voice didn't waver, though my heart hammered. He smiled faintly. A friend of the family. Tom shifted uncomfortably. Hale. I didn't. Don't speak, Tom, the man, Hale said. You've already said enough tonight. Emma clung to me, trembling. I could feel her fear, but also a tiny spark of trust. She looked at me as if asking silently, Mom, what now? I took a deep breath. Explain yourself. Why are you here? Hale's eyes glinted. To remind you, Nana May, that some fires warm, but others consume. And tonight, you've been standing dangerously close to the wrong one. I bristled. You're threatening me? He laughed, but it wasn't warm. It was a knife sliding across a bone. Not threatening, reminding. Consider it a gift. Tom's father coughed, trying to regain composure. Hale, this is inappropriate. Hale's gaze cut through him. Inappropriate? Perhaps. Necessary? Absolutely. The truth is you've all been lying, protecting yourselves, hiding crimes that span decades. And tonight, one of those crimes is about to surface. I felt a cold shiver. What crimes? He smiled faintly. You'll see. Soon enough. Emma's small hand pressed against mine. Mom, I don't want to be here, she whispered. I held her tighter. I know, honey, but we can't run. Not now. We have to see the truth for what it is. Tom's mother gasped. Nana May, you're crossing lines you don't understand. I stood, towering over the fireplace. The only line being crossed tonight is the one that kept my daughter frozen outside while you laughed. That line ends now. Hale's eyes flickered toward the letter I had pulled from my coat pocket earlier. Ah, the warning, he said softly. Precious, but insufficient. Tom looked like he wanted to speak, but Hale silenced him with a look. You've been playing a dangerous game, Hale continued, and it seems you've just realized the rules. Then it happened. Tom's father sighed heavily, finally breaking his composure. Fine, he said. You all need to know the truth. It's time. I felt my pulse quicken. About what? About the family, he admitted. About everything you've been blind to. Emma leaned closer to me, her face pale. Mom, what is it? I whispered, should just listen. Tom's father cleared his throat. Your husband, Tom, he is not the man you believe him to be. He's been hiding things, dangerous things, alliances that put all of you at risk. And your daughter, Emma, was a pawn. Emma's eyes widened. A pawn? Yes, he said. A pawn to protect secrets that are older than you can imagine. This house, this family, the wealth, the warmth, it's all a mask. And you walked right into it. Tom's mother interjected. Nana May, surely you understand. I cut her off. Understand? I understand enough. Enough to see that my daughter was treated like dirt while you all smiled. That's enough. Hale nodded slowly, almost approvingly. She's strong, he said. Very strong. And she will need that strength. I looked at Emma. Do you understand, honey? These people, they don't care about you. Not like I do. Not like we do. Tears rolled down her face. Mom, why didn't anyone protect me? Because they could, I said, voice shaking with anger, and they didn't. Tom stood suddenly. You don't understand. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I love her. I laughed bitterly. Love her? You left her outside in the snow, shivering while your family mocked her. That's love. Tom's father interjected. Nana May, stop. This isn't just about Christmas. There are things at play you don't understand. I faced him, my voice cold. Try me. Because if this is about protecting secrets, then those secrets are going to destroy you tonight. Hale's eyes gleamed. Exactly. Emma whispered, Mom, what does he mean? I took her hand. It means the truth is coming, and some lies will burn. I realized in that moment that I couldn't wait for anyone else to act. Not Tom, not his family, not even Hale. I stood taller. Emma, we're leaving. Right now. You don't belong here. And we're not looking back. Tom laughed bitterly. You can't just take her. This is my home. My family. You think wealth and smiles can cage people? I asked sharply. No, not anymore. Emma followed me without hesitation. She knew instinctively that staying would only bring more pain. I paused, turning back once. And remember this, I said to Tom and his family. You cannot humiliate my daughter and hide behind firelight again. Not ever. Hale stepped aside, his expression unreadable. Impressive, he said softly. But the real danger hasn't arrived yet. You've survived the first storm. The next one will test everything. The car stopped at the edge of the driveway, and I knew whatever was coming next wouldn't be polite. Snow crunched beneath my boots as I held Emma's hand tightly. Her small fingers trembled, but this time it wasn't from the cold. It was anticipation, fear, and something deeper, an instinct that told her danger was near. From the shadowed driveway, a figure emerged. Tall, broad-shouldered, stepped slow and deliberate. I could see the way the falling snow outlined him like a dark silhouette against the icy white. My heart raced. I knew that face, Hale. You're persistent, he said, his voice smooth, almost polite. But his eyes, they were predators. Calculating. Dangerous. I planted myself in front of Emma. What do you want? I demanded. Hale smiled faintly. What every family wants at Christmas, he said. Control. Order. Silence. Silence. I repeated. You mean fear. He tilted his head. Call it what you will. But fear works. I felt a surge of anger. You don't scare me. Not anymore. Not after tonight. Emma peeked around my legs. Mom, he's huge. I bent down, holding her close. I know, honey, but courage isn't measured in size. It's measured in standing up when everyone else wants you to bow down. Hale's lips twitched in amusement. Impressive speech. But speeches won't save you from the consequences of crossing powerful people. I straightened. I'm not crossing anyone. I'm protecting my daughter. That's all. The first clash. Tom appeared at the side door, anger written across his face. Nana May, you can't just. I cut him off. I can, because you left her outside to freeze, Tom. And tonight, you're about to learn that no lie, no wealth, no polished smile can hide cruelty forever. He took a step toward us. You're making a mistake. This isn't just about Emma. It's about your interference. Hale moved closer, a shadow at his back. And your interference is entertaining, he said quietly, but dangerous, very dangerous. I could see Emma pulling back slightly. Mom, what do we do? I looked at her, my voice firm. We face it. Together. Tom's father emerged from the house, his cane tapping sharply on the ice. Nana May, this is absurd. Let her go and forget tonight ever happened. I shook my head. Forget? No. Forgetting isn't possible when the truth has been ignored for years. Tonight it ends. Hale's gaze shifted. Careful, he warned. Tonight isn't just about ending. It's about survival. I squared my shoulders. Survival doesn't mean silence. It means action. For a moment, the cold and fear threatened to overwhelm her. But then, slowly, Emma lifted her chin. Mom, I want to help, she said. I felt a surge of pride and sorrow. Honey, right now, all I need you to do is stay close. But soon you will see the strength inside you. Tom laughed bitterly. You think a child can face this? She's powerless. Emma's voice was quiet but sharp. I'm not powerless. Not anymore. Hale's eyes flicked to her, surprised. Bold, he murmured. Very bold. Suddenly, Tom stepped forward aggressively, reaching for Emma. I reacted instantly. My hand grabbed his wrist, twisting it sharply. He stumbled back, shocked. You touch her again and you'll regret it, I said, my voice ice cold. Tom's face contorted in anger. You can't. Hale stepped between us. Enough. Physicality will not resolve this. I glared at him. Then let words resolve it. Tell me why she had to freeze. Tell me why cruelty is celebrated in your house. The room, or rather the driveway now, felt suspended in time. Snow fell silently, the cold pressing into my bones. And then Hale said something that made my blood run cold. Because some people deserve to understand their place before the fire consumes them. I felt a shiver, but not from the snow. Tom's mother stepped forward, trembling. You don't understand. You could ruin everything. Everything our family has built. I cut her off. Everything you've built? On the back of pain and humiliation? Everything you've built? It's rotten. She gasped. The truth you don't know. Oh, I know more than you think, I said. I saw Emma out there, shivering while you laughed. That's enough for me. That's everything. Then Hale spoke. The family secrets, they extend beyond this household. There are alliances, deals, betrayals, and tonight one of them comes back. I narrowed my eyes. Who? What? Say it. He smiled faintly. The one you least expect. And it will change everything. Emma's eyes filled with tears. Mom, what does he mean? I held her close. It means there's more to this than cold shoulders and firelight. There are lies, lies that will shatter the world you thought you knew. Tom's face twisted in fear. You don't know what you're talking about. I laughed bitterly. I know enough, and soon everyone will know. Hale's eyes gleamed. You're brave. I'll give you that. But bravery doesn't mean victory. Not yet. At that moment, a car door slammed down the street. Engines roared. Tire tracks crunched in the snow. My heart skipped. Mom, who is that? Emma whispered. I swallowed hard. Someone coming, and they're not delivering gifts. The shadow of another figure appeared at the driveway's edge. Taller than Hale. Broader than Tom. Moving with lethal intent. Hale's calm demeanor faltered slightly. Ah, the final piece has arrived. Let's see how long your courage lasts, Nana May. I stepped in front of Emma, fists clenched, mind racing. No one touches her. Not tonight. Not ever. The air was electric. Snow swirled like a white curtain. Breath formed clouds. Eyes locked. And in that instant, I realized something terrifying. This confrontation was no longer about Christmas humiliation. It was about survival. And if we failed, we wouldn't live to see another dawn. The car engine grew louder. Headlights cut through the swirling snow. Tom's face paled. Hale's expression changed from calm to wary. Emma clutched my hand tighter. Mom, what now? I whispered, we fight. That's all we can do. The figure stepped out of the headlights. Slowly, deliberately, and I knew the real betrayal was just beginning. Snow fell. Cold wind howled. And Christmas night became a battlefield. The snow swirled around us, and I knew the shadows hiding behind the holiday cheer were far darker than I'd ever imagined. Emma's small hand trembled in mine. I could feel her fear, but also her trust. Tonight, she wasn't just my daughter, she was my ally, my reminder that strength could be born from love. The car headlights cut through the darkness, revealing the figure who had emerged from the snow. Taller than Hale, broader than Tom. With an air that screamed danger, he stepped toward us. I didn't flinch. I couldn't. Who are you? I demanded, voice steady despite the storm inside me. He smiled faintly. Someone who knows the truth. And tonight, Nana May, you will see what you've been blind to. Emma pressed closer to me. Mom, I don't like him. I held her tighter. Neither do I, sweetheart. But we can't run. Not anymore. Hale stepped forward. This is the one I warned you about. The one who will reveal everything. I clenched my fists. Reveal what? The man's eyes were cold, sharp. Everything you thought you knew about Tom, his family, and the life they've built on lies. Tom's face went pale. You can't. I can, the stranger said. Because the truth cannot remain buried. Not when it touches the people you've harmed. I felt my pulse quicken. Emma's grip on my hand tightened. Mom, what's happening? I took a deep breath. Honey, we're about to find out what real betrayal looks like. The stranger stepped closer, revealing a folder in his hand. Documents, photographs, letters, all evidence of long-hidden secrets. You want to know why Emma was left to shiver last night? He asked, holding the folder toward me. Yes, I said, my voice low. Tell me. He nodded. Because she is part of something much larger. Something your family and theirs were meant to protect. And some people would go to any lengths to ensure she didn't disrupt their plans. Emma gasped. Plans? What plans? I swallowed hard. Honey, stay close. Whatever it is, we face it together. The stranger opened the folder, showing photographs of Tom's family at gatherings I'd never noticed. Faces smiling, hands shaking, presents being exchanged, and then subtle signs of something darker. Documents revealed financial transactions, hidden alliances, and coded letters. People I thought I knew weren't what they seemed. I stared at a photograph showing Tom with a man I didn't recognize, exchanging a briefcase in a dark alley. My stomach twisted. This is why Emma was used, I whispered. Hale nodded gravely. Exactly. She was a distraction, a shield, a bargaining chip. And you just rescued her from the first stage. I felt my blood boil. They treated her like a pawn. Yes, Hale said. And worse, they believed they could get away with it. Emma's eyes filled with tears. Mom, why didn't anyone stop them? Because they thought no one would, I said softly. But someone did. And that someone is standing right here with you. Tom stepped forward, his voice sharp. You don't know what you're talking about. These accusations. I cut him off. Accusations? No. This is evidence. Proof of the cruelty I've been fighting to expose since last night. Tom's mother clutched her pearls, pale. Nana May, you can't. Yes, I can, I said firmly. Because protecting a child from cruelty is more important than your wealth, your power, or your pride. Hale stepped to my side. Tonight, you'll see just how deep the deception goes, and why they feared you revealing the truth. I glanced at Emma. Her small face was determined. Mom, I want them to know the truth too, she whispered. I nodded. We'll show them. Together. The stranger opened a letter, reading aloud in a voice that cut through the cold night air. She must not interfere. The child is a liability. Remove her if necessary. I froze. Remove. Emma. Yes, he said. Your daughter was considered dangerous to their plans. That's why she was humiliated last night. That's why they laughed while she shivered. Emma gasped. Mom, they wanted to hurt me? I hugged her tightly. Yes, honey. But they underestimated one thing, the courage of a mother. Tom's face twisted with guilt and fear. You don't understand. It wasn't supposed to go this far. I laughed bitterly. It went far enough. You thought hiding behind firelight and laughter could protect you? No, not tonight. I felt something shift inside me. The fear that had gripped me since last night transformed into fierce determination. Emma, I whispered. Look at me. We're not victims. Not anymore. Tonight, we take back what's ours. She nodded, eyes wide but resolute. I turned to Tom and his family. This ends now. No more lies. No more games. No more cruelty. You've underestimated us for the last time. Hale watched silently, almost in admiration. She's strong. Very strong. The stranger's gaze hardened. And she's just begun. Suddenly, Hale's expression shifted. His hand moved subtly to his coat. You need to leave, I said firmly. I don't care who you are. You don't touch us. Tom laughed nervously. Mom, maybe we should. No, I shouted. Enough of your games, Tom. You've had your chance. You failed my daughter. And now, everyone will see the truth. Hale's eyes darted to the stranger, then back to me. She's not bluffing. Be careful, Tom. Emma's small voice cut through the tension. Mom, I'm ready. We can do this. I swallowed hard, nodding. Yes, together. From the shadows, another figure emerged. Someone I never expected. Tom's face went pale. No, it can't be. Hale's eyes narrowed. Ah, the real mastermind reveals himself. Perfect timing. Emma clutched my hand. Mom, who is that? I tightened my grip on her. Someone who was hiding in plain sight. Someone who wanted to see us crushed. But tonight that ends. Snow whipped around us. The cold air pressed into our lungs. The house behind us seemed smaller now, insignificant against the truth that had just been unveiled. And I realized, with a shiver that wasn't from the weather, this was far from over. The hidden truths had been revealed, but the battle had only begun. And the next move would decide everything. The snow had stopped falling, but the cold hadn't left. My hands were numb, my teeth chattering, but it wasn't the winter that chilled me. It was the weight of what I had just learned. Every step I had taken tonight had led to this. The betrayal, the secrets, the fear etched into Emma's face. I held her hand tightly, feeling her tiny fingers quiver against mine. She looked up at me, eyes wide and scared, but there was something else there too. Trust, hope, and the courage she had inherited from me. I can't believe this is real, Emma whispered, her voice breaking. All those years. Mom, all the lies. Her words were barely audible over the faint wind, but I felt them deep inside. I wanted to cry with her, scream at the injustice, but I had to be strong. I had to show her that even in the face of betrayal, strength mattered. I knelt down to her level. Emma, listen to me. It's true. The family, Tom, they aren't who they pretend to be. But we have something they don't have. Truth, courage, and love. That's enough. More than enough. Her lower lip trembled. But why, Mom? Why would they treat me like I meant nothing? I swallowed hard. Because fear makes people cruel. Because power makes them careless. And because they think no one will fight back. But we fight back, honey. Together. Behind us, the house loomed, the warm glow from the windows now mocking. Every laughter we had heard from inside replayed in my mind. I could almost feel the echoes of their joy, twisted and empty, and it made my anger burn hotter. I glanced at Hale, who remained just behind us, silent, watching. His calm presence was unnerving, yet there was a strange reassurance in knowing he was here, that he wasn't on their side. You've seen enough for one night, he said softly. The family's cracks are visible. The rest will come to light soon. I nodded, though my mind spun with everything that had happened. Tom had been arrogant, his family cruel, and yet it wasn't just them. It was deeper. A network of lies, betrayals, and manipulation stretching across years. My heart ached thinking of how Emma had been drawn into it all. How she had trusted them, laughed with them, believed in them, and had been betrayed. I can't stop thinking about last night, Emma said quietly, almost to herself. The fire, the laughter, the way they looked at me. I thought they were family. I thought I belonged there. Tears welled in my eyes. Honey, belonging isn't about wealth, or smiles, or fires. It's about love. And they chose cruelty over love. But we have each other. That's what matters. Her hand squeezed mine tightly. I'm scared, Mom. I know, I said, pulling her close. I'm scared too. But fear isn't weakness. It's a warning. And it tells us to act, to survive, to protect each other. That's what we're doing. The cold wind stung our faces, and for a moment, the emotional weight of the night nearly crushed me. I thought about Tom's betrayal, his casual cruelty, the way he had laughed while Emma shivered. I thought about his parents, the smiles hiding manipulations, the whispered warnings, the long years of secrets they had maintained. I thought about Hale and the stranger, the mastermind we hadn't yet met. My mind spun with every revelation, every betrayal, every fear. I felt rage, sorrow, and a heavy, crushing sense of responsibility. Emma's voice pulled me back. Mom, are we going to be okay? I forced a smile, though it didn't reach my eyes. We will be, but it's going to be hard, and it's going to hurt, and we're going to face things we never imagined. But together we can survive. She looked at me, eyes wide with a mix of fear and trust. I believe you, Mom. Her words were a small comfort, but also a stark reminder of what I had to do. I wasn't just protecting her. I was guiding her through the betrayal, showing her that courage could rise even in the darkest hours. And I knew the emotional turmoil wasn't over. Not even close. The stranger who had brought the documents stepped closer. There's more you need to see, he said, his voice steady. Things that will change everything you thought about this family. I swallowed, my stomach twisting. I'm ready, I said, even though a part of me wanted to hide, to retreat from the pain. He opened the folder again, revealing photographs of Emma at her first birthday. Her school plays, moments I had thought were private and safe, but in these images, her presence had been observed, catalogued, scrutinized. There were letters, notes, and cryptic messages connecting her to deals, alliances, and people I didn't know existed. Emma gasped. Mom, they've been watching me? Yes, honey, I said softly, squeezing her hand. And that's why we have to be careful. And that's why we have to fight. Her small face hardened. I want to fight too. I felt pride swell inside me. And you will when the time is right. But right now, survival comes first. Courage comes next. Tom's voice rang from the shadowed edge of the driveway. You think you've won? You think you can just take her and walk away? I turned to him, fury blazing. No, I'm taking her because she belongs with someone who loves her. She doesn't belong in your world of manipulation and lies. And if you think you can stop me, you're wrong. Hale stepped slightly forward. She's right. You underestimated them both. You think fear controls people. But courage is far more dangerous than fear. Tom's shoulders tensed. You don't understand. Oh, I understand perfectly, I interrupted, voice sharp as ice. I understand betrayal. I understand cruelty. And I understand that if you ever hurt her again, you will regret it. Emma whispered, Mom, I'm scared, but I trust you. I pulled her close, holding her as tightly as the weight of the night would allow. Then we'll face it together, I said. And no matter what happens next, we survive. And we fight back. Hale's voice was calm, almost approving. Very well. The storm isn't over yet, but their first cracks are visible. Watch closely, Nana May. It's going to get worse before it gets better. I felt a shiver run down my spine. Not from the cold, but from the truth of his words. Worse was coming. I could feel it in my bones, in the way the wind whipped across the snowy driveway, in the distant lights flickering from the house. Emma's small hand found mine again. Mom, promise me we'll be okay? I kissed her forehead. I promise, honey. We'll survive. No matter what. No matter who comes next. The shadows behind us shifted. The house stood silent now, a looming monument to the cruelty we had escaped, but I knew it was waiting. Waiting for us to make a mistake. Waiting to strike again. And I realized with a chill that wasn't from the snow. The emotional turmoil was only the beginning. The confrontation, the betrayal, the secrets, they were all part of a larger storm. A storm we couldn't ignore. And a storm that would decide everything. I hugged Emma tightly, feeling her small body trembling. My own hands shook, my mind raced, and yet a fierce determination burned inside me. I wouldn't let them break us. I wouldn't let them destroy her innocence or mine. Because courage, I realized, wasn't the absence of fear. Courage was acting despite it. And tonight, we were about to show them what courage looked like. The night was silent, yet charged with tension. The snow had stopped falling, leaving the world outside a cold, white stillness, but inside me my thoughts raced. Every revelation, every betrayal, every cruel smile I had witnessed over the past hours replayed in my mind. Emma clung to my hand, her small fingers trembling, her eyes wide with fear and determination. I held her close, whispering reassurance, though I felt just as vulnerable. The house loomed behind us like a dark sentinel, windows glowing with the warmth that had once seemed comforting, but now I knew it was a lie. The family's laughter had been a mask, hiding their manipulation, their secrets, and the cruelty they wielded as casually as breathing. I could still feel the sting of humiliation from last night, the memory of Emma shivering outside while they celebrated. My chest tightened, my fists clenched. Tonight, I had to confront it all. Hale stepped closer, silent but present. His calm gaze measured everything. The fear in Emma's eyes, the tension in mine, and the unease radiating from the house. He was an enigma, part guardian, part observer, and I wasn't sure which side he truly belonged to, but I trusted him enough to know he wouldn't let anyone harm us, not yet. Then, from the shadows of the driveway, the man who had appeared behind Hale stepped forward, the one we had been warned about. His presence made the world feel smaller, tighter, suffocating. He looked at us slowly, deliberately, and I could feel his eyes piercing through the layers of armor I had tried to wear. "You've been busy tonight, Nana May," he said, voice smooth, almost mocking. "Exposing lies, protecting a child, very commendable. But there are truths that even courage cannot overcome." I lifted my chin, refusing to show the fear that rippled through me. "Try me. You'll see courage isn't so easy to destroy." He smiled faintly. "Courage, yes, but it's fragile, and tonight it will be tested." Emma pressed herself closer to me. "Mom, what does he mean?" I swallowed hard, my mind racing. "He means some truths are dangerous, and we're about to learn them, but we face them together, always together." The man stepped closer, and the faint sound of shifting snow under his boots made my blood run cold. "The family you've confronted, they are not innocent, and some confessions have been waiting a long time to surface. Tonight you will hear them." I felt a chill creep down my spine. Confessions, secrets laid bare. The weight of knowing could break people, and yet it was necessary. Emma's trembling hand squeezed mine, a silent reminder of what was at stake. Then the first confession came, startling in its casual delivery. Tom stepped forward, face pale and eyes avoiding mine. "Mom, I need to tell you the truth." I stared at him, my pulse quickening. "About what, Tom? About leaving Emma to shiver? About laughing while she froze? About all the lies?" He hesitated, swallowing hard. "Yes, all of it. I didn't know how to stop it. I thought if I pretended, if I didn't interfere, it would all go away. But I was wrong. I was blind, and I hurt Emma. I hurt you." Emma's small voice broke through, trembling but sharp. "You hurt me, Tom. You left me out there alone." Tears streamed down my face. "Yes, Tom, you did. And you don't get to justify it." He flinched under the weight of my words. I know, and I can't take it back. But I need you to know. I didn't plan it. I didn't want it. And I hate that it happened." I felt a bitter mix of relief and fury. His confession was a start, but it didn't erase the pain. I needed more. I needed the truth about everyone, about all the lies that had led to this moment. Then his mother, standing stiffly near the doorway, spoke, her voice trembling. "Nana May, you don't understand. It wasn't supposed to be like this. We've been protecting family, protecting tradition. I stepped closer, anger burning in my chest. Protecting tradition? Protecting family by letting a child freeze outside while you laughed? By hiding cruel secrets? Don't you dare call that protection. She gasped, clutching her pearls. It's complicated. There are alliances, deals, things you couldn't possibly comprehend. We've been forced to make choices no one else would understand. I shook my head. Complicated? No. Cruelty is never complicated. Lies are never justified. And you can't hide behind tradition anymore. Hale's voice cut through the tension, calm but commanding. They've been cornered. The truth is coming out, whether they like it or not. And some confessions are dangerous, capable of changing everything. The man from the shadows stepped closer, revealing documents, photographs, letters, proof of alliances, of manipulations, of betrayals I had only suspected. I felt my stomach twist as I realized how deep the deception went. He began reading aloud, each word slicing through the cold night. Your family, Tom's family, they've manipulated, coerced, and used people for decades. Deals made in secret, alliances with dangerous figures, betrayals hidden behind smiles and celebrations. And Emma, she has been central to their plans, whether she knew it or not. Emma's small hand pressed against my chest. Mom, why would they do this to me? I swallowed hard, holding back my own tears. Because, honey, some people see innocence as a tool, a weapon, a means to an end. But they underestimated you. They underestimated us. Tom's father stepped forward, face pale, eyes darting between us and the documents. Nana May, it wasn't meant to happen this way. You don't understand the stakes. I narrowed my eyes. Stakes? Stakes are decisions made at the expense of a child's safety, at the expense of love and trust. You call that a stake? I call it cruelty. Then came another confession from the sister I had once considered harmless. Claire's voice was sharp, trembling with emotion. I didn't want her to suffer. I tried to warn her. I tried to stop it, but I was silenced. I stared at her, disbelief and anger warring in my chest. Silenced by whom? By your conscience? Or by your family? Her lips quivered. By both. I wanted to speak. I wanted to protect her. But I was afraid. I felt a mix of pity and rage. Fear doesn't excuse silence. But her confession added layers, showing me the complexity of their cruelty and cowardice intertwined. Then Hale's gaze shifted toward the shadows again, and the man with the documents whispered something I wasn't ready for. The mastermind, he's closer than you think. He's been orchestrating everything from behind the scenes, waiting for the right moment. I swallowed hard. My mind raced. I knew the confrontation wasn't over. The emotional turmoil of the confessions had been intense, but it was only the beginning. The real danger was still out there, unseen, waiting to strike. Emma whispered, her voice small but fierce. Mom, are we going to be okay? I hugged her tightly, feeling the weight of the night pressing down on us. Yes, honey, we'll be okay. But we have to stay strong. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward despite it. The house behind us seemed to grow darker, the windows reflecting shadows that were no longer comforting. The warmth inside had been a lie. The laughter had been a weapon. And now, standing in the cold with Emma at my side, I knew that our fight had only just begun. The air was thick with tension. Snow had begun to fall again, soft and silent, blanketing the driveway in a deceptive peace. But I knew better. There was no peace tonight. Not for us. Not for Emma. Not for the family that had treated her as a pawn. Every revelation, every confession from the previous hours weighed heavily in my mind, but the work wasn't over. If anything, it was just beginning. I took a deep breath and looked at Emma. Her eyes, though wide and fearful, held a flicker of determination. Mom, what do we do now? She asked, voice trembling. I pulled her close. Now we take control. We show them that courage isn't just words. It's action. Hale stepped beside us. The family has been exposed. Some will crumble under the weight of truth. Others will fight it tooth and nail. Your next steps must be careful but decisive. I nodded, feeling the strength settle in my chest. Fear was still there, yes, but it no longer controlled me. Tonight, I had a mission: protect my daughter, expose the lies, and reclaim our dignity. Tom stepped forward, hesitant, guilt etched across his face. Nana May, maybe we can fix this. Maybe we can make amends. I stared at him, anger flaring. Fix this? You left Emma outside in the snow while you all laughed. You can't undo that. But you can start by telling the truth. Fully, without hesitation. His father coughed nervously, adjusting his coat. It's complicated. You don't understand the pressures we've been under. I laughed bitterly, shaking my head. Complicated? No. Cruelty isn't complicated. Lying to a child isn't complicated. And manipulating a family for decades isn't complicated. It's cruel. And it stops now. Emma's small hand squeezed mine. Mom, we can do this. We can make them see. I nodded, feeling a surge of pride. Yes, honey, we will. The stranger who had brought the documents stepped closer. You're ready, Nana May. You faced fear, betrayal, and manipulation. Now it's time to confront the family as a whole. They've hidden in shadows for too long. Tonight, you bring everything into the light. I took a deep breath and stepped forward, standing tall against the looming house. Everyone inside, I called, voice firm. It's time to face the truth. Every secret, every lie, every betrayal. Silence answered me at first. Then, footsteps on the floorboards. The front door creaked open, and Tom's mother appeared, her face pale. Nana May, you can't. I can, I interrupted. And I will. Because protecting a child is more important than your pride, your wealth, or your power. Step outside. Now, one by one, the family emerged. Tom, his father, his mother, Claire, even the distant relatives who had been observing silently from the warmth of the house. Their faces were masks of disbelief, fear, and thinly veiled anger. Hale stepped slightly back, giving me space, his eyes scanning for threats, while the stranger with the documents spread them across the snow-covered driveway. Photographs, letters, and evidence of long-hidden schemes gleamed in the faint light. You've hidden behind walls of firelight and laughter for too long, I said, my voice cutting through the cold night. But the truth cannot be contained. And tonight it will be exposed. Tom's father stepped forward, cane tapping sharply against the ice. Nana May, you're crossing lines you don't understand. This will destroy everything. I shook my head, anger rising. What will destroy everything is the cruelty you've inflicted on my daughter and the lies you've told for decades. Tonight, the destruction will be your conscience, not ours. Claire stepped forward, her voice trembling. I admit it. I lied. I hid things. I didn't stop it. I thought it was the only way to survive. But I see now it was wrong. I was wrong. I studied her, anger tempered by a flicker of compassion. Acknowledging it is the first step. But it doesn't undo the pain. You will have to live with it. Just as you will have to live with your choices. Hale nodded approvingly. Good. Now the rest. Tom's face contorted with emotion. I didn't plan it. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. But I betrayed her. I betrayed you, Mom. I was weak. I was selfish. And I am sorry. Emma's small voice trembled. You hurt me, Tom. You left me alone, outside in the snow. You don't get to apologize and fix it. I stepped forward, placing a hand on her shoulder. But you have the right to speak. The right to make them understand. Speak, Emma. She inhaled sharply. You think you can control me. You think you can hide behind your fire and your laughter. But you don't get to decide what's right for me. You don't get to treat me like I'm nothing. And you failed. A silence fell over the driveway. The snow fell softly, but the tension was palpable. I could see the anger in their eyes, the shame, the fear. Hale's presence was a silent reminder that we were not alone. The stranger with the documents stepped forward. There is one final confession, he said, holding up a letter. The mastermind, the one who orchestrated everything. He is hidden in plain sight. Tom paled. No, it can't be. Hale's eyes narrowed. The truth is often closer than you think. And tonight it will be revealed. I felt Emma's hand squeeze mine. Mom, who is it? I swallowed hard, my pulse quickening. I don't know yet. but whoever it is, their time is up. Tonight, justice begins. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, stepping into the glow of the driveway lights. The air seemed to freeze, as we all realized who it was. A gasp escaped from Tom's mother. It can't be. I took a step forward, eyes locked on the figure. Yes, it is. And tonight, everyone will know the truth. The mastermind's gaze swept over us, eyes cold, calculating. So, the child and the mother have uncovered my little secrets. Impressive. But do you truly understand the consequences? I lifted my chin. I understand perfectly. And I'm not afraid. Emma's small voice rang out. Neither am I. The snow swirled around us, the cold pressing against our faces, but I felt a fire inside me. The confessions had been made. The lies had been exposed. The emotional turmoil had been faced. And now it was time for action. Hale stepped forward. The mastermind has underestimated you both. That is his first mistake. Courage is not weakness, it is power. And you have both proven it tonight. The mastermind's lips twitched in a faint, disdainful smile. Power, yes. But power alone won't save you from the storm I've prepared. I stepped closer to Emma, holding her tightly. Then we face it. Together. No matter what comes next. And in that moment, I realized something profound. The confessions, the confrontations, the long-hidden truths, they had all led to this. The family had been unmasked. The lies had been exposed. But the real test, the resolution of everything, was still to come. We had survived betrayal, manipulation, and cruelty. We had faced confessions that could have broken us. And yet we stood together, unbroken, ready to confront the mastermind and reclaim our lives. Snow fell softly around us, blanketing the chaos in an eerie calm. The house behind us was silent now, its warmth and laughter nothing but memories of cruelty. I looked down at Emma, her eyes fierce with determination. Are you ready? I asked. She nodded. Ready. I inhaled deeply, feeling the cold bite of the night and the weight of what had been revealed. Then let's finish this. Tonight, everything ends. And as we stepped forward side by side, the shadows seemed to shift, the air charged with anticipation. The resolution we had been seeking was within reach, but the final confrontation would determine everything. Tonight, the family's power, their lies, and their cruelty would face justice. And there would be no turning back. The night had never felt colder. The snow crunched under my boots as I held Emma's hand, her small fingers trembling but determined. Every step we took toward the house felt heavy, as though the weight of all the betrayal, lies, and humiliation from the past weeks had settled on my shoulders. But there was no turning back. Tonight, everything would end, or at least, that's what I hoped. Hale walked silently behind us, his gaze sharp, scanning the shadows. The stranger with the documents moved carefully to the side, his presence a constant reminder of the truths we now carried. And the mastermind, hidden in plain sight until now, stood at the doorway, watching us, his expression a mask of cold amusement. You really think you can stop me? He asked, voice smooth but dangerous. After everything I've done, everything I've orchestrated, you have no idea what you're up against. I met his gaze, unwavering. I don't need to understand it all. I just need to protect my daughter. And tonight you're done. Emma's small voice rang out, firm and unwavering. You hurt people. You lied. You thought you could control everything. But we see you now. The mastermind's lips twitched into a faint, disdainful smile. Bold child. But boldness won't save you. I stepped forward, positioning myself between Emma and him. Boldness is courage. Courage is stronger than fear. And we are not afraid. He laughed softly, a sound that made the hair on my neck stand on end. You have no idea what's coming. The family, the secrets, they're bigger than you think. And you, Nana May, you're just a small part of it. I clenched my fists. Small? Maybe. But small people can stop giants. And tonight we end this. Hale's voice cut through the tension. Careful. This isn't just a confrontation. It's a storm. And storms destroy everything in their path. The mastermind's eyes flicked to Hale, then to the stranger with the documents. Ah, allies. How convenient. But it won't matter. You can't change the past. You can't undo what's been done. I shook my head. The past doesn't matter anymore. What matters is now. And now we fight. Emma's hand tightened around mine. Mom, let's do this. We moved closer, step by step, facing the mastermind. The snow swirled around us, the cold pressing into our bones, but I felt a fire burning inside me. A fire fueled by anger, love, and the desire to protect Emma from the cruelty we had endured. The mastermind's expression hardened. Very well. If you insist on standing in my way, you will regret it. Suddenly, the shadows shifted. Figures emerged from behind the house, others connected to the mastermind, loyal to his schemes. Tom and the rest of the family hesitated, fear evident in their eyes. Some of them had confessions to make, but they also had secrets they feared would destroy them if revealed. I took a deep breath, refusing to let panic rise. This ends tonight. All lies, all cruelty revealed, all secrets exposed. No one hides anymore. Hale nodded, and the stranger with the documents spread the papers across the snow, a silent declaration of the truth we now wielded as a weapon. Photographs, letters, evidence of bribery, manipulation, and betrayal, everything laid bare. The mastermind's eyes flicked over the documents, his jaw tightening. You dare expose me? Yes, I said firmly, because this ends tonight. You no longer have control. You no longer have power over our lives. Emma's small voice rang out again. We are not afraid of you. The mastermind's expression shifted. First surprise, then rage. You cannot do this. You have no idea what you've unleashed. I took a step closer. Oh, we know exactly what we've unleashed. The truth. And it's stronger than you. Stronger than your lies. Stronger than your fear. Hale's calm voice added weight. You underestimated them. That was your first mistake. And it will be your last. The mastermind's associates hesitated, glancing at him uncertainly. The power he had wielded so confidently was slipping through his fingers. Fear was replacing arrogance. Emma whispered, Mom, he's scared. I smiled faintly, proud of her courage. Yes, honey, and that's why we stand strong. Fear can be a weapon if you know how to use it. The mastermind's hands trembled slightly as he scanned the documents. You think this is enough? Yes, I said, because we're not just exposing the past. We're reclaiming the future. And you will answer for every choice you made to hurt us. Tom's face twisted with guilt and fear. Mom, I held up a hand. No more words, Tom. The time for words has passed. The time for truth and action is now. The mastermind's lips curled into a snarl. You will pay. All of you will pay. I stepped closer, eyes locked on him. No, you will answer. That's the difference. Suddenly, Hale moved forward, signaling the stranger with the documents. Together, they approached the mastermind, evidence in hand, their presence calm but imposing. It was clear. His reign of control was ending. Emma's voice rang out, small but fierce. You're done. You can't hurt anyone anymore. The mastermind's face paled as the weight of exposure settled in. He had underestimated the courage of a mother and her child, the power of truth, and the consequences of his own cruelty. For a moment, the night was silent except for the crunch of snow underfoot and the wind whipping through the trees. Then, Hale's voice broke the stillness. The mastermind's secrets are no longer hidden. He's cornered. Justice will follow. The mastermind's associates shifted, unsure what to do. Fear had replaced loyalty. The power structure that had ruled for decades was crumbling, and there was nothing left to hold it together. I stepped closer to Emma, holding her tight. We did it, honey. The first part. We've exposed them. But the battle isn't over. She looked up at me, eyes shining. We'll face it together, Mom. Always together. I kissed her forehead, feeling the fire of determination burn stronger than ever. Yes, honey. Together. And nothing will stop us. The mastermind's gaze met mine, cold and calculating, but now tinged with fear. This isn't the end, he hissed. You haven't seen the worst. You think you've won, but the storm is coming. I met his gaze steadily. We're ready for it. Whatever comes next, we face it together. And we will survive. Always. The snow swirled around us, the cold biting into our skin, but the warmth of courage and determination radiated from within. The family had been exposed, the mastermind revealed, and the lies laid bare. But the night was far from over. The storm he had promised would come. And I knew, deep down, that we were prepared. The emotional turmoil, the confessions, the confrontation, they had all strengthened us. Tonight, we had reclaimed our power. But the future was still uncertain. I held Emma close, her small face pressed against mine, and whispered, "The world may try to break us, but we are stronger than they know. And we will rise." The mastermind backed into the shadows, his threat lingering in the cold night air. Hale and the stranger with the documents flanked us, silent sentinels ready for whatever came next. Snow fell softly, blanketing the driveway in a deceptive calm. The family's laughter was gone, replaced by silence and the weight of truth. And as I looked at Emma, I realized something profound. We had survived the night, but the story was far from over. The final confrontation had exposed the darkness, but the storm the mastermind promised was still coming. And when it arrived, we would face it together. Tonight, we had won a battle, but the war was just beginning.